Hey guys, welcome to the channel. This is Christina, and today I'm just going to give you a recap of our family subjects, what we liked, what we didn't, how the year went. So let's go ahead and get into it. Okay guys, so we have just finished our 6th year of homeschooling. This year I had a 6th grader and a 3rd grader, and these are just some of the family subjects that we did this year. I'm mostly pointing out the ones that we enjoyed. There are some things that we really just didn't get to consistently. I may or may not mention that just to kind of keep this video short. But during the year, I have shared some term updates. So I have a term 1 update, a term 2 update. So if you want to see some of the books we read in those terms, some things that we finished during that time of year, you can check those out because I won't be recapping everything that we finished this year since I already touched on those in those videos. So we are pretty much done. There are some things we're going to be taking into the summer with us. And I'm just still contemplating what to do next year. I know I've already shared curriculum pick videos, but honestly, I've been in prayer and I just feel that there's things I want to change, things I'm not quite 100% about. It's kind of different this year. It's felt quite different. The entire year, I have to be honest, has been unlike any other year. Well, I think that I said that last year, but this year I would say was probably our hardest year in our homeschool journey as of yet. Just a lot of things going on. We first moved in the beginning of the year. Things weren't really settled, and just some things going on throughout the year. Things going on in the world I felt like were impactful into our homeschool, at least for me personally. So that affected the year. The year felt different overall, and it just felt harder. And I have a girl in her preteen, that whole stage of changing and all that goes with that. So with her, there's been, some things that we've needed to go over because of those changes. Sometimes there's some regression in certain things. I've noticed, and I've heard other people talk about. So we've been targeting that this year. So it's just been different. But I'll touch more on that in her video for 6th grade, kind of recap. But this is just family subjects. So we did finish Taking the Americas for Jesus on term 3. Absolutely love this series. It's been a joy in our homeschool. We really do. We just kind of touch on it once a week. We read a story once a week. So this is level 3. I didn't buy level 4 for the upcoming year, but we will revisit it probably in the next year after that. I just wanted to take a break and do something else next year, but we love this series, and the kids always enjoy listening to the stories. So we did finish that. Mystery of History has been phenomenal. I love the writing style of Linda LaCour Hobart. Very, very good. And it touches not only on Christian history, but secular history, and kind of shows you what's going on at the same time, which is very eye-opening, and brings a lot of history together where you maybe didn't think about it in the past of how things fit together, what was going on at the same time. Yeah, it was very, very good. I have, since finishing this, I came across a video. I won't go into like what the curriculum is or whatever, but I came across a video that gave me some insight into maybe how I can continue using this or move into another 4-year cycle with another resource that's going to bring in a lot of what I wanted to do this year, but make it a little easier for me, where I don't have to plan it all out myself and think about all the moving parts. So coming upon that, not really knowing about it before, and then realizing, hey, this can make my life a lot easier in the upcoming year, or not upcoming year, but the year following next year. And so I might make some, again, plans to our history. Not like a ton of changes, but I'm still kind of mulling over that and like what I want to do. But that has caused me to kind of reframe my ideas for what I was going to do for history this upcoming year. I'll get more into the details. I'm being kind of cryptic right now, but we really did love this. I would love to kind of continue it in some sort of way, figuring that out right now. What I did not like the digital companion guide being a digital. And when I bought this, I did not know that you could buy the companion guide separate. I think I purchased this on Christian Book, and then realized on Rainbow Resource that you can buy the book and the separate companion guide from there. So I don't know if that's the reason. I was also on the website. I'm sure you can do it on the website. I don't know why. I just didn't think about it. But I didn't think this would be as bothersome as it was for me. I much prefer having a physical book that I don't have to kind of go through a million different pages just to get what I want, because we're not going to use everything. I already know that going in. And I didn't want to print everything, but it was a lot. So I didn't really like having to do that. And so I just kind of stopped even going on there because it was just felt frustrating. I do recommend the planning pages. That is a separate purchase, but we did enjoy that. We also used some timeline figures from a third party. It was a different website, but that made timeline figures for Mystery of History. So I'll share the link down in the description if you guys are curious. But we did enjoy those timeline figures. We definitely used those because the kids both have a timeline book where they kept track of all that. And I also enjoyed the notebooking pages. And those are, again, a separate purchase. So that too was kind of annoying that everything's separate, but I know a lot of curriculums are kind of like that where you can piecemeal things. So that's why they do it that way. But I'd rather it just all be included and you can use it or you don't. But regardless of that, really enjoyed this curriculum. Highly recommend it if you haven't used it. We definitely enjoyed it. It's chronological and it just, both my kids loved it. And I am amazed at what they recall. Like they would tell Dad about what they learned that day, and their narrations are always spot on. We always narrate. Whatever I'm reading, read aloud, history, science. Both my children narrate. We practiced narration since they were little, since the beginning of our homeschool. And they're both, they both got their own style of narration. I'd say my daughter enjoys written narration a lot more than she does oral, and my son enjoys oral very much so. He's very detailed in his playback of whatever it is that we learned. So, it's just been very good for recall. Like they've really remembered a ton from this year's history pick. So highly recommend that. We enjoyed it quite a bit. I mentioned this before. We've done portrait drawing. Very much enjoy this. We're probably taking this into next year. This is just a step-by-step guide for drawing faces. And we keep a notebook and just draw what we're learning. Go over to the next little lesson that maybe they're expressing and then practice. So definitely enjoyed this as a resource. And the kids always look forward to doing a drawing day. We also worked on Passport to the World. This is from Master Books. And this has been good. This is something we need to finish. So I don't know. I have some ideas on maybe changing our geography plan as well. And this is unlike me. Usually I have everything planned done by now. And I'm already in the ordering supplies kind of stage, and I'm not even close to that. So that is something that I'm still just praying over and trying to figure out, just because of how this year has gone. So that's something I'm just going to continue to pray over and see how it goes. But we've enjoyed the Passport to the world, and then they just go over the country. They draw a picture, they write a little something about it, and something that stood out in the reading. I'll usually find a video on YouTube that we can watch about that country as well. So that's been fun, and they also have passports that they're filling out and putting a little sticker in whenever we visit a country. So this is something that we're gonna be carrying over, maybe the upcoming year, maybe not quite sure. And then we have elementary zoology. Absolutely love this course. The kids really enjoyed it as well. I highly recommend the online component with the Masterbooks Academy if you can do the videos, because he really brings in the connection to evolution and creation, like putting those two side by side so that we can bring everything back to the Bible, what it says, how everything started, and comparing that to some evolutionary thinking that's kind of taken over worldly thought and, basic education, things that you see everywhere you go. You go into the zoo, you see a lot of the evolutionary thought as well. So it's helping kids kind of examine both sides in a very clear way. I definitely appreciated that. So the video component really made this course what it was for us. All the books we've enjoyed. They were all really great. This one probably was the slowest go. This is the first book that we started out the year that was just a slow go for us. But everything else has been really fun. This is more of a devotional that's brought in once a week, but we've really enjoyed it. Some of the worksheets, I have to say, we didn't use all of them. I felt like we're a little... weren't really up to the 4th through 6th grade level. I felt like they could have pushed the kids a little more in some of the worksheets. So I didn't expect to use a lot of this. We did a lot of like activity-based notebooking type ideas. The kids did put on a play early on in the year, which was really cool. Did not ask them to do that, but they worked together and they came up with something and decorated, made puppets, made all kinds of decorations, even wrote a script. So they were really excited to put on a play about marine animals. And so that was really cool. And we have that to remember. They've done biomes this year, which were really fun. So this course was definitely a win for us. Definitely recommend it if your kids love animals and would like to learn a bit more. As far as what we finished reading, we finished A Child's Treasury of Irish Rhymes, Around the World in 80 Days, Tirzah, In God We Trust, God's Big Book of Animals, and Taking the Americas for Jesus, which I talked about. These are some of the books that we finished in term 3. We do have a handful full of books that I'm still working through. So we are taking some read alouds into the summertime. So if I could find what that is, here, let's see. So we're still reading Extra Animal Heroes, Pilgrim's Progress, Princess Bella Held, Sunshine Country, and The Golden Goblet. Most of these will finish pretty quickly. So we'll be reading just a few weeks into the summer for us. And all these books have been fantastic. We've really enjoyed them. The Extra Animal Heroes is from the What a Character sets from Masterbooks. So these are stories about animals that have contributed to different wars and what they've done to help, and animals that have been awarded certain awards for helping in that cause. But yes, these two here, Sunshine Country and Princess Bella Held, are from Generations. Fantastic books. So I highly recommend both of those. So we're finishing those up, and we should finish those soon. But that is basically what stood out to us for our family subjects. There are some things like health, that were kind of flops for us that I wasn't super consistent with. So health, safety, and manners 3, we really didn't follow through with. We read some, maybe about a quarter of the way through, but it wasn't too consistent. I wasn't super excited about Connoisseur Kids. We did do some early on in the year and then just kind of fell off. So that wasn't something that we continued. We did do artist study. Artist study, which we painted. This is mine. I don't have theirs to show you, but we would paint the artist, kind of our own rendition of it, and all of our drawings are within here as well. That was great. We fell off kind of term 3 with artist study and composer study. We're kind of like listening to the composer, but we're not doing it as consistent. So we've kind of put all that to bed. We're working on the last verse of our 1 Corinthians that we are memorizing. And I think that's about it. Everything else was good. Those are our standout subjects for our family subjects. So I did want to share that. Hopefully that was helpful. I know I kind of sped through that a bit, but that's what stood out to us. That's what worked out for us. Again, it was a hard year, but we pushed through. We got a lot done. And I want to kind of simplify for the upcoming year. So I'm kind of thinking of ways of how I can do that and how I can make it a little more seamless. Obviously, we're in our new house still, so there's some organization and things I need to do to really make the space fit for us in our homeschool. I felt like we just jumped in and I wasn't really able to get it to where I wanted it. We just kind of been, doing the next thing. So these are some things I'm thinking about, how I can simplify, how I can organize, how we can do it a little bit better than we did this year. But what we chose was great. These are the things that really stood out to us, and we're just ready to enjoy the summer and finally sit down and figure out what it is I want to do for the upcoming year, so I can share those kind of final decisions with you guys, because a lot of things have changed since my first reveal that I did early on in spring. But I will go ahead and try to get my 6th grade recap and my 3rd grade recap done for you, and kind of talk about what I'm leaning towards in those changes for the upcoming year as well. So if you have any questions about anything I talked about, or if there's something I didn't talk about and you're curious about, please leave me a question down below and I'll be happy to answer. And I will see you on the next one, guys. God bless.